Okay, so I need to take a break from preparing the notes, so I'm gonna start making these videos. So, the first thing we're gonna look at is the definition of philosophy. He said the thing! So, when you look at it from an etymological perspective, we can see that it originates from the ancient Greek word philosophia. Philos means friend, and it stems from the verb phlein, which means to love something, whilst Sophia derives from sophos, meaning wise person. So we call philosophy the love of wisdom. Okay, who came up with this? Amazing. Now, philosophy is fundamentally an activity and a method of thinking, according to Gilles Deleuze, I guess. He says it's not uh, merely a discipline, but also an activity of creating concepts. All of this is filler. I don't think this is going to be really important, but you should really memorize this because it was in the exam previously. Philos means friend or to love something, and sophos means wise person, and it translates to love of wisdom. And philosophers say that philosophy is essentially a sieve for concepts or stuff that is useful. So you put in the bullshit inside, and out comes only the stuff that is useful, according to philosophy. It does not provide prescriptive commands on what you should be doing or what you should not be doing, according to the slides. But I don't really agree with that, especially since there is political psychology. And for example, in Socrates, what was it? I forgot the name of it, but he just designs a sort of way to rule any city or a political system. So it does give you a guideline on how to do things sometimes. But you should know that according to the text, it does not provide prescriptive commands. And this is also important as well. It was seen on some of the questions. Now, the subjects of argument for philosophical stuff is it questions common beliefs, like, for example, why is killing wrong? Is it always wrong? If I kill someone trying to murder me, is that also wrong? For example. So it's it's going down into the deeper meanings of the common knowledge that we have. We will look into this much more when we come to Plato and his cave allegory. Now, when we look at some common philosophical questions, it's more of what? Is the universe real? Do humans have free will? Does God exist? Why something rather than nothing? These are all things that have been asked. Now, why do we study philosophy? Why do we need to study it? Well, because they say living an unexamined life is not worth living. I forgot who said this, but this is a key word. You should know this. An unexamined life is like driving an unserviced car. An examined life leads to trustworthy principles. And it also teaches you how to think clearly. You develop skills for analyzing arguments that are transferred to various issues and other areas of life. And it gives you intellectual pleasure. Analyzing concepts is a deeply pleasurable theoretical activity and complex concepts using a unique human capability. The caveats with it is that it's difficult. You need to have a brain and an ability to think. What? To actually, engage in philosophy, which I think goes against the pure logic of philosophy, but I don't know, just. And it also should not provide a complete picture, but it works alongside all other fields to examine different aspects of human existence. Incredible. Now we have 9 separate branches of philosophy that have been mentioned in the slides. The first one is ontology. Ontology, epistemology, these two are the most important ones. You will see these being mentioned a lot. The third most important one is political philosophy, but that is usually very, very obvious. So it shouldn't be an issue for you. Ontology deals with existence. What do you mean by existence? It means, why does things exist? You know, there should be a more capable thing here. You know, it looks at why things exist, how have they come to existence, stuff like that. It's about living and existing. Epistemology focuses on knowledge. What is knowledge? How do we acquire knowledge? Is it innate? Is it derived? These are questions that it asks. You will see epistemology being mentioned with Descartes, Plato, Plato, Socrates. You know, the big three is usually thinking about epistemology. The third one is ethics, which examines the good, virtue, happiness, and rational principles, which is just, what you should be doing and what you should not be doing, how you should be living. Happiness, which we will see in Aristotle's works. Philosophy of art, it explores concepts like beauty, sublime, objectivity. You will never see this. Logic, it involves deduction, induction, premise, and validity. This is important. I think we should be able to differentiate between deduction and induction by now. Deduction is taking something from the whole and applying to a part of it, and induction is taking two things and generalizing that information. Political philosophy, as I said, it discusses politics, liberty, society, and the state. There are discussions about the state, how it should be ruled, etc. Philosophy of law examines rights, legitimacy, human and justice norms. In political science, you see this, and this a lot: the green, red, and blue. Philosophy is of science, experience, science paradigms and theories, nerd stuff, and I guess other branches, which include the philosophy of language and the philosophy of mind, which I do not know the differentiation between the philosophy of the mind and epistemology. That's it.